so-called, I had to go back to it because it's something much deeper on another side. This so-called Starbucks anti-bias training. If they delete this live, I pray you are either writing this down or you are recording this with your screen recorder, because I'm going to drop some stuff regarding this. I am predicting something when it comes to Starbucks and this anti. They had a set of questions. One of the Starbucks employees sent me some information. And the information was regarding these questions on this anti-bias training. Some of the questions dealt with: when was the first time you noticed your identity? Okay. Trust me when I say I'm about to connect these dots. Trust me, I'm going to connect these dots, so I need you to record this. Please, record this. I'm not joking. Every time I go on live, everyone knows I'm not going to give you just some soft talk. I have to give you these facts. You need to take them and you need to spread them. It doesn't have to be my face or my video, but you need to record it, memorize it, you get on the video and you say it, whatever. Okay, but get it out there because you need to know how big this is and what's really going on. The Starbucks anti-bias training was sponsored by the Anti-Defamation League and the Jews, which is the Anti-Defamation League, but I'm just giving you this so you can get this. The anti-bias training was sponsored by a Jewish organization. Okay, see, you need to know this. Starbucks was founded by the Jews. The Jews owned 75% of slaves in the South. Most of the families who are Jewish have capital or lots of money that they made from their families up the line and down the line. And they were able to establish many different businesses from that money that was made from us, our families, being enslaved. The Jewish Defense League, the Anti-Defamation League, etc. So the Jewish organization sponsored this anti-bias training. Yes? The first question dealt with the first time you notice your identity. These are the fake so-called Jews. First time you notice your identity. This is the anti-bias training at Starbucks. Why would they say something like, write down the first time you noticed your identity? Listen to the wording. August of 2017, the FBI came out with a document calling black people who love and embrace their identity black identity extremists. Listen to me carefully. The first question on the anti-bias training. Deals with, notice when was the first time you recognized your identity. First question. That testing was sponsored by the Jewish Defense League, Anti-Defamation League, Jewish organizations. Starbucks was founded by the Jews. The Jews established the FBI, the IRS, the Federal Reserve, and the CIA all in 1913. Please listen carefully. Last year, August of 2017, the FBI came out with a document stating that all black people who embrace their identity, who are passionate about their identity, and who love their identity as black identity extremists. And they said that we have a high likelihood at fighting against, attacking, and shooting back at police officers. The training that they are giving is to locate black employees within Starbucks and black people who walk into Starbucks and identify them as black identity extremists, so that when they come into Starbucks or if they work in Starbucks, they can be reported to the FBI. These are just my predictions based off of the way it's connected. And the rest of the questions deal with, have you noticed the first time anyone of a particular culture or identity or racial identity met with you in your home? These are literal questions. You can go on my page and see it. It's all very psychiatric, it's highly evaluative, it's evaluating, and they're trying to locate black people who have a strong identity and loves their identity, and those who work in Starbucks, those who don't work in Starbucks, and anyone who's connected with anyone who could be considered a black identity extremist, according to the August of 2017 document BIEs, Black Identity Extremists, according to the FBI. Mark my words. Mark my words. There are no coincidences when it comes to this. There is no such thing as a coincidence. Trust me when I say it is mind control. The coffee beans are genetically modified. The milk is genetically modified. There's a lot more to it. But just understand that. Very true, my brother. Very true, my brother, Minister Michelangelo. Yes, sir. Very true. So I hope everyone got that. Okay. So basically the FBI is connected with Starbucks. And due to their training that they have, due to their training, their anti-bias or anti-racial training that they have, they are trying to pinpoint those within the organization who could be black identity extremists, and they are also trying to train all of their staff to pretty much label any black person who walks into their Starbucks, who points out their racistness, their racist activity, and their racist behavior, and basically training them to call the police and state that we have BIEs. We have black identity extremists here. That's what they're doing. They don't use the terms and words for no reason. Everything is specific. Last year the order came out. This year they are implementing it into the training in other businesses. Black identity extremists. They are not going to start, they're not going to stop locking up black folks. They're going to start locking them up even more. Even more. Please understand what I say. You will start to see lots more of us locked up. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us that it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Y'all think? That's why I said it ain't just no Starbucks. It's much deeper than that. Much deeper than that. Okay? So, next point. There are tons of black-owned Starbucks companies. Or, pardon me, not black-owned Starbucks. Black-owned coffee. Black-owned coffee. Pardon me. Tons of black-owned coffee companies, black-owned coffee shops, black-owned coffee dispensers, black-owned coffee, black-owned. Tons of them. Go to their business. Patronize their business. Go and support your own. And if you don't want to go and buy it from anywhere, then buy it for yourself. Make it yourself like you used to do at the house. Do that. But right now, it's getting pretty bad. On to the next topic. I'm sorry. Oh my God, there's so much. On top of it being connected with the FBI, the training is also highly evaluating. What they're going to do for you who are staff members at Starbucks, just so you know, I know it's a lot of time I spend on the Starbucks thing, but it's connected to so much. Many of you, Starbucks has over 200,000 employees. Over 200,000 employees. So what that means is there's over 200,000 lives of people who truly need to understand this knowledge and information. And many of them sent me the documentation from their training today, and they couldn't believe what they were reading. But the training is also evaluating the people who work there, the staff members, and they are going to label themselves. It's going to give them a psychiatric label. Trust me when I say this. And I know some of you are like, how the hell did he bounce from there to there to there to there? No. Trust me. It is going to go that deep. Everyone who is involved in that training is going to pretty much give themselves a psychiatric label because it was psychiatric based. Those of you who work there. There was a Starbucks, I believe, in Compton, California that was caught selling the coffee. And the coffee, within the coffee, had liquid levels of psychotropic drugs in it. So psychiatry is kind of connected to Starbucks. So you being considered crazy is a factor that will be put into that area. the FBI being connected with it, you being considered a black identity extremist, any one of us walking into a Starbucks being, mistreated with racism and us pointing it out, and them calling the police on us saying that they have a black identity extremist in the lobby, and the FBI comes or the police come very quick. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Search up the document, the FBI document, August of 2017. Search it up. BIEs, Black Identity Extremists. Please search it up. All right, and fact check me. Yes, plant-based is the way to go. All right. Surprisingly, three bills were passed right before Memorial Day. 3 bills passed by Donald Trump and Congress. 3 bills passed by Donald Trump and Congress. 3, just before, meaning day before yesterday, Memorial Day. Just before Memorial Day, 3 bills were passed. Collectively, Donald Trump and Congress, they worked together to pass these 3 bills. Go and research those. It's very, very, very blatant. It's all over the internet. Just type in 3 bills passed before Memorial Day. They rushed them through while everybody was focusing on Memorial Day and, oh yeah, and salute the troops. All that stuff. Yeah, Donald Trump and Congress passed some laws that will affect everybody in this country. Be very mindful of what's happening. North Korea, what they said, North Korea, and I'm just dropping certain things because everyone needs to know this. I'm going to go into Morgan Freeman and Bill Cosby and that nonsense in a second. But just know that there are bigger things happening. North Korea, from my research, has said, which of course is expected, that they are not going to give up their nuclear weapons. And they should not. That's a different country. No one has the right to tell another country what to do unless they try to own that country. America tries to tell everybody except for Israel and Saudi Arabia to give up their nuclear weapons. And everyone who does give up their nuclear weapons, America goes in and takes control. America goes in and takes control. They take control. I didn't say ask for it. I said take it. The number 1 terrorist on the planet just happens to be the United States government. Yes, I said it. And if anybody tries to use that stupid term, which is go back to Africa or go back home, just know this. The original 1828 definition of an American, according to the American dictionary or the 1828 dictionary on the American language states that, quote, an American is a aboriginal of America, copper-colored individual who has been here in this part of the land prior to Europeans, but now applies to the children of Europeans, end quote. So don't ever try to tell me or any dark-skinned individual to go back no damn where, when this is our land also. Thank you. The only person in America who requires a green card is the Caucasian. I'm not being racist, I'm being factual. Next point. North Korea is not giving up their nuclear warheads. Israel's not giving up theirs either. But as of right now, World War III is a very, very, very real thing. A very, very, very real thing. I will leave that up to all of you to go and check that out. I'm not going to go too far into that because I don't want to bring everyone's spirit down with talking about war and all that. I don't want to do all that right now. You go and research that yourself. The 3 bills that were passed day before yesterday, right before Memorial Day, research that. North Korea refusing to give up its nuclear warheads. You go research that. Okay? Do that on your own. Now, next point. Bill Cosby and Morgan Freeman. Bill Cosby, Morgan Freeman. Okay, let me say this really quick. To anyone who will hop on here and say anything about rape or being molested or anything like that, let me just say this for you. If Bill Cosby is guilty, of doing what all of these women surprisingly said he did, then he deserves to go to jail. Absolutely. Absolutely. If Bill Cosby is guilty, then he deserves to go to jail. Completely agree. I don't disagree with that at all. He should go to jail if he is guilty. However, if Bill Cosby is guilty, then let us do this. Every white, every Jewish male who has ever done anything to physically assault these women, to drug these women. That includes all of the casting directors. That includes all of the managers. That includes all of the screenwriters. That includes all of the other directors and what have you. Agents, all of these individuals who work in the movie and film industry, all of the casting directors for the models and all of these different things, which is why, one reason why I left the modeling industry, because my agent was gay. The cameramen were gay. The guys in the changing room and dressing room were gay. The actual clothing designer for the suits was gay. I have nothing against you if you are homosexual. But let me say this to you. You literally are living a life which has no beneficial result. There is not one thing that lifestyle ends with. There's no beneficial thing to humanity, is what I'm saying. I'm not coming at you. If you say that's love and I feel love, hey, more power to you. You do your thing. But what I'm saying is that style of living in no way should be pushed on anybody. It should not be pushed on anyone. But I digress from my point. My point is that anybody who has raped a woman, anybody who has molested a woman, anybody who has done anything, drugged a woman to get sex from her, did anything like that, deserves to go to prison. Absolutely, completely agree. I don't care if it's Morgan Freeman, Bill Cosby, Charlie Sheen, Woody Allen, all of them, Harvey Weinstein, Wienerstein, all of them deserve to go to jail and prison. However, let me say this in defense of the position, which is this. If Bill Cosby did this, why is it that women didn't come forth until 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years later? Why is it that all of a sudden, when he was going to purchase NBC, did all of these women come out of the woodwork? Many of them questionably looking like men. And also, why is it that they came out of the woodwork making all of these different accusations? All of them saying that, yes, I knew he was married. You knew he was a married man? And you still went up there with him? Oh, and you agreed to do things. So it was consensual? Oh, you agreed to do all of these things. This is insanity. But let me give you a little deeper point. Governor Jerry Brown of California, here's a fact for you. Governor Jerry Brown of California passed a law, removed a law on the statute of limitations. I believe it was in 2016. The statute of limitations on evidence for rape in California used to be 10 years. You could have up to 10 years to prove that someone had raped you and had forced themselves sexually onto you, yes? You had up to 10 years. Please tell me why Governor Jerry Brown removed that law just for Bill Cosby. You didn't remove the law for any of these racist Jews, any of these casting directors, any of these white men who cast for models, any of these white men who have done tons of molesting, raping of lots of women in the movie and film industry, in the modeling industry, in the music industry. You haven't done any of that. You didn't remove that law for them, but you removed it for one man. When thousands of men have been doing this for a long time and they were proven to have done these things, but you did it for a man that he was brought under accusations of doing these things. The agenda is to remove any positive images of black men because the agenda is to feminize all of the black men. Here's my point. This has nothing to do with women. They don't give a damn about women. America does not care about women. Let me say this again to every single woman, and black women too, because some of you jump onto this bandwagon like you did in the women's rights movement with Susan B. Anthony and all of them. America does not care about women because women will not have to fight for rights. if America cared about you. America does not care about women because women would not literally have to fight and protest to make the same amount of money that a man would make when the woman had the same degree as the man. America does not care about women. By the way, it's not the black men that don't care about the women. It's the white men that don't care about the women. Because the original fight for the woman to have rights was not between the black woman and her man. It was between the white woman and her man. And then the white woman convinced the black woman to join in their fight when black women were with their black husbands with the black family. And we were fighting for civil human rights, not women's rights or black men's rights. It was civil human rights that we fought for. So today, the feminist movement, which was established by a white woman who was sponsored by the CIA, is trying to usurp, once again, the civil rights movement. Black Lives Matter, all that stuff, for black people to be treated as human beings. See, it's nonsense. And they're trying to use Bill Cosby as another example. But I don't see none of y'all jumping on Harvey Weinstein. I don't see none of you jumping on the 32 Catholic priests, the Pope himself. Let me say this, and I'm almost done. The first time in history when the Pope himself, the Pope recently came out and called out all of his cardinal priests. He called them all out. And he couldn't believe that he had read records of his cardinal priests, his bishops. All of them have been guilty of, 34, all of them have been guilty of molesting little boys, of having sexual intercourse with little boys. Because in the Catholic religion, they believe that women are unclean. They believe that women are cursed and women are sinful and they're disgusting. So what do? They have sex with little boys. The Vatican Church, the Pope of Rome, the Roman Catholic Church has currently over 2,000 cases of pedophilia against them right now. The Catholic Church has over 2,000 cases currently of pedophilia against them right now. And the Pope called them out for the first time in its existence. The Pope called them out and he said, I cannot believe this. So all 34 of them, the Catholic bishops, are now saying they are going to step down. First time in history this has ever occurred. But guess what? You don't hear about it in the news. You don't hear about it being dragged through the news the same way they dragged Bill Cosby through the news. You don't hear it being dragged through the news that these men, 2,000 children, and nobody's talking about it. That's how you know there is an agenda. The agenda is to destroy the image of the black male. The agenda is to destroy the strong black image of the black man. No, they don't want strong black images of strong black men. No, they want feminine images of black men. They don't want any such thing as a strong black man. I'm saying black men in particular, because the image is what is powerful enough to control the mind of a child, and it will inject into the mind of the child that you can be just like him, you can be just like them, you can be just like them, be successful, be powerful, be intelligent, be wise, be proud to be who you are. You can make your people proud. You can fight on behalf of your people. You can perpetuate success within your society and not destruction and degradation of your society. You ain't got to be no drug dealer. You ain't got to be no gangbanger. You can be a doctor. You can be a lawyer. You can be anything that you want to be. And now, all you hear about are the negatives, so-called negatives of black men. Next point, Morgan Freeman, and I'm going to give you a very specific pointer here, which is, if you are a black person, number one thing you don't want to do is speak against black people. Let me say it again. If you are a black person, the number one thing I recommend you do not do, the one thing I recommend that you never do, is speak against other black people. And why do I say this? I say this because the enemy watches. So the moment Morgan Freeman started talking about, well, forget racism doesn't exist, just stop talking about it. Okay. The moment Bill Cosby started saying stuff like, "Oh, don't worry about racism. Stop talking about racism. Don't worry about that." Interesting. You know what the so-called Jews said? Who own Morgan Freeman, who own Bill Cosby, who own the movie and film industry, who own the music industry, who own all of it. You know what they said? We got our house, niggas. We got our house, niggas. We got them. Clamp down on them. So now they make sure that you do not have the allegiance of your own people because they don't have the allegiance, your allegiance. They don't have your back. No. They made you rich. They made you rich. They own you. So you already don't have their backing. But they wanted to make sure that you destroyed your only chance, which is having your own people support you by talking down and against your own people. So that when they bring you down, your people will help them to bring you down. Bill Cosby and Morgan Freeman helped themselves to be crucified. So this is why you do not speak against your own people. You do not. I don't care how bad it is. If you want to say something about black folks, you can say, okay, black folks, we need to do better. Or we can do this. Let's do better. See, encouraging, uplifting talk, speaking to the power within us as a people. Black folks invented damn near everything that you see and touch. Black folks invented damn near everything you see and touch. Black folks invented damn near everything you see and touch. We had over 60 all black towns in this country. We had over 18 elected officials after the first 10 years out of slavery. After 1877, between 1865 and 1877, we had what was known as the Reconstruction Age. We all went back to school. We became engineers, doctors, teachers, elected officials. We did it all. And we built over 60 all-black towns. Black Wall Street was just one of the most famous because it was the number one that was bombed with German planes. The first bombs ever to fall within the United States fell on Black Wall Street. But it wasn't the only one. It wasn't the only one. My point is that they don't want you or me or us to come back together and rebuild our own cities and towns like we did before. So what do? They help you by encouraging you to turn on you and your own people. Stop speaking against other black folk. And do not criticize other black folk in the public. Call them up, go to them, and talk to them and tell them what the hell they need to improve on. Like, hey, brother, look, you know you need to stop doing that. Stop doing that. Cut it out. Because the moment you help to shoot your brother in public with words, you empower other people to do the same thing. And that is the wrong thing to do. So, I'm done on that topic. We must continue to push the positive image of black family, black men, black women. Here's another point that everyone should understand and everyone should know. As a part of the LGBT organization, and the LGBT movement, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual movement, you have something called pedosexual. There's a P being added now. A P. LGBTQP. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, queer, now pedosexual or pedosexual or pedophile. Pedophile. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, family. I know it's late, okay? I know it's late, but this is the best time to do it, and it's the only real time to do it because we're all available right now, and also they watch your brother's social media. So I have to go live at a time where it's safe for me to give this information to you, where you can receive it and take it and then spread it. There's an organization called NAMBLA. NAMBLA. I can't believe it's true because the first time I heard about it was on South Park. South Park. NAMBLA. 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 The North American Man Boy Love Association. NAMBLA. The North. See, you want to talk about Bill Cosby, right? You want to talk about Bill Cosby. You want to talk about Bill Cosby. For real, for real, for real? An organization that is established in America, that is known in America, sponsored by America, all white male individuals who are within this organization, they just walking around and they cool. Known pedophiles, known to be an organization where they literally go and look for little boys. They go around playgrounds, they go around parks, they go around schools, middle schools, preschools, they go around they go on boy watch on the beaches. They go to malls, and they go to other schools. They go and walk around and look. The North American Man Boy Love Association, NAMBLA, with men who love little boys. And you are talking to me about Bill Cosby over some damn accusations and some things that he admitted to with women who knew he was married, who agreed to have sex with him? I'm sorry, but that I'm not justifying rape or anything like that. But a woman who knows you married and who agrees to have sex with you, guess what? She has responsibility in that circumstance just as you. And y'all need to handle that. But I literally choose to focus on something far more disgusting, which deals with the future of the people, our children. The North American Man Boy Love Association, NAMBLA. NAMBLA exists, and pedophiles are being added to the LGBTQP family. LGBTQP family. LGBTQP family. I hope we're taking notes. I hope we're writing it down, because as of right now, these are the facts you really need to know about. You really need to know about it. You still want to talk about other people? You want to talk about Morgan Freeman? You want to talk about all this stuff, but you sure? You sure? It blows my mind. It really blows my mind when people don't know when to really focus on the real stuff. The Catholic Church is out. Everybody know now. Catholic Church, but guess what? The Catholic Church is more powerful than certain parts of the U.S. government. But they run it all. But you got NAMBLA. And guess what? You got the LGBTQ. You got that. And they're pushing the homosexual agenda. But who's behind all of that too? The same people are behind Starbucks. The same people who are the primary owners in the slave trade. The same people behind all of this. The so-called Ashkenazi Khazarian Jews. Hello? The same so-called Ashkenazi Khazarian Jews. Fake so-called Jews. I will not get off of this, because the fact is the fact. They are the one pushing the homosexual agenda. They are the one pushing the world depopulation agenda. They are the ones who pushed the Rockefeller World Council in 1974. They are the ones pushing it. The National Security Study Memorandum 200, Global 2000. They are pushing depopulation. Homosexuality is one way to help to depopulate a population of people. Vaccinations is another way to depopulate a massive amount of people. AIDS and diseases, man-made diseases, is another way to depopulate a large mass and group of people. Genetically modified organisms within food is another way to depopulate a massive group and population of the people. Police terrorism, not brutality. Police terrorism, domestic terrorism, police terrorism, domestic terrorism is another way to help to depopulate slowly but surely a specific part of the population. Marijuana, the vast majority of which is not organic, not natural whatsoever, and has been sponsored and sanctioned and approved by your Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA of this country, has chemicals in it which attacked your sperm, which attacked your ovaries, which attack your central nervous system, which attack your body. All throughout the body. These are things that everyone needs to notice. So I brought up Starbucks. I brought up Bill Cosby and Morgan Freeman. We talked about Pusha T and Drake. We talked about these laws being passed. We talked about Roseanne. We talked about a lot of different things. But the one key component that keeps popping up that is behind all of it, we talked about the homosexuality and NAMBLA and all of this stuff. The one group of people who continue to be the source behind all of this are the so-called Khazarian Ashkenazi fake Jews. And I do apologize if this irritates some of you. I do, but I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. I won't lie to you. So family, I do appreciate you. Oh yes, the deporting of 1,500 children. Yes, yes, absolutely. Oh, and by the way, in California passed or removed the law on the statute of limitations just for Bill Cosby. So they removed a law where you could only have 10 years to find out if someone raped you or not. They removed that law, so they put it at an unlimited amount of time. So here's my point. If you remove the law, Governor Jerry Brown, where a person only has up to 10 years to prove whether or not they were raped by somebody, and you remove that law, now there is no limit of time to find out if somebody was raped, then every single woman who was a model, every single woman who was an actress, every single woman who was a dancer, every single woman and man in the movie, film, and music industry today that lives in California, I recommend you get a lawyer tomorrow and sue your record producer who raped you, and sue your casting director who raped you, and sue the music producers who raped you, and sue anybody who made you feel that you needed to have sex with them or do this nasty sexual favor for them in order for you to have higher access into that field. Every woman who had to do something sexual to make it into the higher levels in the movie, film, music industry in California, get you a damn lawyer and sue that man, because there is no limit on the time to prove whether or not you were raped. Since they want to play that game, let's play the game. True justice needs to come down on this, because California is definitely a habitation of devils. Hollywood used to be called Hollywood Land. And the holly comes from the holly reef or the holly tree. The holly tree was representative in the paganistic rituals. Pagan rituals where they worshipped sex. They worshipped sex, they worshipped sex and sex and sex. And Hollywood Land was established by the Jews. So we're not playing with this. If that's how you want to go, if you want to crucify Bill Cosby, no sir. No sir. Handle that. And every woman who's watching right now, you know you got a friend who's a model, and you know that she had to do some stuff to be brought into a higher level or position within Hollywood. You know that. And you know she more than likely did not want to do that, or it was forced on her and she woke up in a bathtub like one of my friends did when she went to audition somewhere, and then she was given a glass of water and she drank it and passed out, woke up in a damn tub of hot water, and the man standing over the tub says, "Sorry, nothing personal, it's just business." This is real, man. Get your lawyer. Handle that tomorrow. All right, family. Last thing and we will be done here. Last thing and we will be done here. All right, last thing. I know there's a lot, but I haven't been on live in a minute, and I have to drop this to you and on you and for you, because there's a lot of information, but I'm going to let y'all go because I need to get some rest as well. If you'd like to donate so far for any of the facts that I have given you, in any of the things that I've connected, any of the dots and information that I have brought out, Cash App Rizza Islam, PayPal, you see my email there, Cash App Rizza Islam, PayPal, and there's my email.